Coming up on OTH, Raymond and I discuss the grand finals of the World Championship, the first 3 episodes of Riot's Netflix show Arcane, the first part of the Doublelift and TSM drama, and finally top it off with some off-season news and rumors. We hope you enjoyed this episode of On the Hunt. Welcome everybody to episode 35 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. I'm your co-host Chris, aka King of the Forts, because I need like 20 pillows in my bed when I go to sleep, dude, and I use all of them. I swear.
I thought you were about to tell me that you're actually switching to Fortnite as your primary game.
No, honestly, I suspect I would be really bad at Fortnite because I don't understand the building and the breaking down and then like shooting people through it, and maybe if I was 12, I would have been really cracked at it. But now that I'm in my older years, I've actually never tried Fortnite, to be honest. So I don't know.
Really? Dude, I remember I had a roommate in college that like I had the PlayStation and he like wanted to play Fortnite, and so he downloaded it. Like, and it's like, that's fine, dude. I don't give a shit. Like, go for it. And then I sat down to play like one game, like the first time I played Fortnite on my own PlayStation, and I won the match. I had like 2 kills, and I just like got a bush and hid as a bush for a long ass time, and then killed like the last 2 guys and won. So like you could say I'm a Fortnite pro.
Yeah, 100% win rate. I like that.
I did play some games after that, but we don't talk about those games. Doesn't matter.
Yeah. And so the real king of Fortnite here is our other co-host, Raymond. What's going on, man?
Not much, dude. Just been watched World Finals this past weekend. And
yes, sir.
Just been playing some other games. Actually, I gave a couple games of League a try. I've been inspired by Worlds and Arcane a little bit. So I played some League. I got the new Call of Duty and played some zombies with a buddy of mine. Just been around, just hanging out.
Shit, dude. I did that last year where I bought the Call of Duty, what is it, Black Ops 4? Or I don't...
Cold War, I think.
Cold War. You're right.
Or last week.
That shows how much I like give a fuck. And I bought it. I played like the first zombies that came with it for like a good 2 or 3 weeks. I actually really liked it, and I like kind of grinded out through all the unlockables that you could have gotten, and then I just never touched that game again.
Yeah.
I really like zombies though.
Yeah, I do too. Especially if you got people you playing with. Like if I won't grind zombies just by myself unless like somehow we have a goal. Like if like a couple of buddies of mine are like, we got to do this, and it's like, oh shit, all right, we got to get this gun or something. Like then I might.
Yeah, we got to do the Easter egg, man.
Right. Yeah. But dude, I'm a sucker for just like the COD hype every year. I swear. Like that was my game in middle school and high school.
Same.
Or I guess it was just high school. So like I would grind COD in high school, and now like as I've gotten older, I legit don't play the game 11 and a half months out of the year. But every time it comes out, it's like, oh, a new one's coming out. Like, oh, this sounds like fun. Okay, I could get this game. Yeah, all right. And then I just see like one friend or somebody to be like, yo, you get the new COD? I'm like, I am if you are, dude. Let's fucking go. Like, let's roll.
Yeah, dude. Warzone was my quarantine game. So when Cold War came out, it was just like, oh yeah, let's all get it.
Ooh,
I haven't touched that game since like December. But it was fun while it lasted. I'll tell you
Right.
that. Pretty much same for me here. I think we played a couple League games together. Been playing
True.
some TFT on the new set. I started off popping off really hard in bronze, I guess. Now I'm hard to start gold 1, as I was telling you before this recording. But you know what? I think we're chilling so far, and I'm having a good time with it. Kind of sometimes. Fuck the game, but
You're just
I think
like
we're doing good.
slowly accelerating, dude. It's like you're like a cartoon character, Shaggy when he tries to run away from something. Right now you're stuck in gold 1, but those legs are spinning, and all of a sudden you'll shoot all the way to diamond 1, calling it.
Yeah, I do. I think that's how it works. Like one of those little springy things where, yeah, I'll just launch off.
Yeah,
Hopefully.
I believe it.
Copium, thank you. The main star of this episode is just going to be, the World Championship Finals that took place last Sunday of Damwon versus Edward Gaming. Legends say Edward is out there celebrating right now. Edward himself.
Edward.
Yeah, the Edward, because EDG, I woke up on, what was it, Saturday morning,
Hmm.
caught the end of game four and all of game five. And game five was a real big treat because it was an entertaining game for me. And in the end, Edward Gaming ends up winning the series 3-2 over Damwon, which I would say is an upset win. We can get into that. And yeah, that's it. LPL is the, our world championship victors.
Once
Pass that
again,
over to you. Yeah, once
yeah,
again.
yeah, dude. I think you. I mean, that's what happened. I don't know. This was definitely a more entertaining series than I think we've had for a long time in the finals of Worlds. Like it seems like I don't know. Last 3 years have been really unlucky of like 3-0 stomps like every time.
Yeah.
It seems like even before that, when was like the last good World Finals? I don't remember. I remember. I guess
I
maybe it
think
was like
it must
maybe it
have
was
been
when
the one that,
Samsung.
yeah, the one that we watched of like in 2016, where like unexpectedly went to 5 games of SKT versus Samsung in 2016. I think
Yeah,
that's the last best of
and
five that I
Crown
remember.
Crown was just playing Malzahar every game.
I think that was
Oh, that was
2017
17. Oh, okay,
when he
okay, okay.
won and they played
Right,
Malzahar
right,
like
right,
every
right,
game.
right.
Yeah.
Okay, okay. So yeah, 16. Yeah.
Yeah, 16
Yeah,
is the last time I
jeez.
remember 5 games. Um, and yeah, ever since then it was like IG stomping pretty hard, and then the following
FPX
year
stomping,
FPX
Damwon
stomped pretty hard.
stomping. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, that's the recent years, and then yeah, people were saying how great the Damwon versus SKT finals were, saying that was the real finals. But in
But yeah,
fact,
this one lived up.
we got a good one here. Although I didn't catch the first few games, but it looked like it went the whole distance with games 4 and 5 when Damon was up 2 games to EDG's one, and EDG came back in game 4 and game 5. Which game 5 it looked like there was some positives going for Damon, even though EDG had a pretty strong lead the whole game from what
Yeah,
I had saw.
talk about like what we're saying just about finals being like the first good finals we've seen. This was like the first good game five also feel like I've seen in a while too, like where it felt like both teams actually were doing stuff and had a shot at winning. It's not we talked last week about the SKT Damwon finals or game five looking like it was just inevitable that Damwon was going to win at a certain point, and then in this game it was like EDG was super far ahead. They have Ocean Soul, they get Elder Drake, and you're like they have to win, right? It's like 16-4 in kills. You're like, it's totally EDG's game. But Damon was still making plays and trying to force stuff. I mean, it's game five of the World Finals. You better like be giving it your all to like just try and find any angle, right? But like it was pretty entertaining. I thought to watch how they were moving around the map and trying to like avoid fights and everything to eke out an advantage and get back in the game.
Yeah, and then speaking of game fives, they awarded the finals MVP to Scout mid laner, which I thought he was having a great game on in Zoe in that game 5 as well. And then also, speaking of game fives, yeah, EDG played 5 games in each of the knockout stage. So quarterfinals, 5 games versus RNG, semifinals, 5 games against Gen G, and then in the finals, 5 games against Damwon. And so pretty crazy that they played the full 15 games to win the whole thing. When a lot of people were probably not that hyped about them going through quarters and semis, and then it's awesome that they win it all in the end.
Yeah, I think it's cool too to see a team have to play 5 games everywhere. Like it's kind of a good sign for the Worlds tournament that like it was close for them. It was an underdog kind of that they were tested at every step rather than like 3-0 3-0 and then a 0-3 or 3-0, right? Like it makes it feel like it's not obvious going into or like looking back at the tournament like, oh yeah, this team won and it was like so easy or like something like that. It's like, man, imagine if they had lost to, RNG in the first round or whatever, like then the tournament could be totally different. Um, or if C9 had beat Genji, then they probably could have beat EDG too, like that kind of thing.
Yeah, I think so many people were just so focused on Damwon for most of the time that, um, and it really did feel like anything could have happened on the other side of the bracket with regards to, like you said, Cloud9 and Gen G in the quarterfinals match with RNG and EDG as well. That like I feel like we were paying as much attention to this side of the bracket with the LPL teams, and then they end up making the full run, which is really awesome.
Yeah, gotta love it.
Yeah, and then a couple of fun facts that I heard. One is I've probably been meaning to bring this up the whole time, but I think I had saw a Reddit post that this is the world championship with the most former world championship winning players in it, which I
Oh,
would which I would kind of believe, because I believe FPX must have had two or three players, um, and then Damwon, four of the players were there. But SKT only has the one player. So
oh, it's the whole world championship you're saying, not just the finals.
I mean the finals, like
Oh, okay.
because Damwon has four returning players, right? And then
Right.
FPX had two or three returning
Oh,
players
okay. Thinking
from their
back.
world
Okay, I see. I see.
championship run.
Right.
Um, so on and so forth. So I haven't counted the numbers myself, but I just thought that was an interesting thing. And the second interesting thing that I had heard about this world championship is that Flandre, the top laner for EDG, is the first Chinese um, solo laner to win the world championship. Because with IG, the Shy and Rookie are both Korean solo laners, and then with FPX, it was Gimgoon and what's the middle laner's name?
Doinby.
Doenby. Yeah, Doenby. They're both Korean born as well. And so I just thought that was interesting to hear that, like, and Scout is Korean, and so Gimgoon is like the first
Flandre.
Chinese, or yeah, Flandre is the first Chinese solo laner. I just thought that was like a fun fact.
Yeah, I think that one is pretty crazy. Like, it's wild that it's just that easy. Just get Korean solo laners and then could win. But
Yeah,
now someone has broken the mold.
yeah. I mean, yeah, that easy, yes, but also like kind of hard because Scout's been working at it for like a long time now, and so has Mako. They
Right.
both had several appearances at the World Championships, and now on like I want to say their third or their fourth run at it, they get the whole thing, and so that's really that's really heartening to see. And then so our World Championship or World Champions are now Flandre, Jeja, Scout, Viper, and Mako. And so yeah, I'm really happy that Viper gets to get the recognition. And um, I know I had seen some chat in the universe that people thought Jeja had a really good series as well. And so it sounds like everybody was popping off in that series.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, even yeah, like you said, Viper too. I thought he had a moment in Game 5. I remember like one of the dragon fights where he like flashed over some like cinder stone
Yeah,
or something. It
yeah, he
was
flashed over a
wild,
Cinder
right?
Stun at the Dragon
Yeah.
fight. Yeah, I remember that distinctly.
But yeah, they were all playing up to a world championship caliber standard. Clearly, it was good to see. I mean, shout out I think too to Damwon. I felt like Damwon was like the least depressing like losers also that we've had in a worlds for a while. Mostly because of Khan. I feel like was reading about, or at least seeing people report on their like presser after the finals, and it sounded like Khan was just like the whole time like to the team, just guys, this is my last game. Like I just want to have fun. Let's all just go out there and have fun. Please, nobody be sad. Don't make this sad for me too. Like I don't want to think about having lost or whatever. Just like I was doing it all for fun. He picked Yasuo in game 1. Like is totally flexing. Like that guy and Damwon around him were just like having a great time, even though they lost.
Yeah, I heard about the Yasuo, but yeah, sad for Khan that he didn't get to win this time around. But I'm overall, yeah, 5 games in this series for the World Finals. I'm really happy that it went the full distance for this championship in Iceland. Any last thoughts for World Championship 2021?
Hmm, nothing really. I think I do want to say one thing. I was talking to one of my other friends about this too, and this world, especially, I don't know, like having finals again, once again, it's like we've talked about it a few times already in our multitude of worlds episodes, but it felt like the format is just too long. Like I don't think these teams need a week in between knockout stages. I don't think you need a week. Maybe you could take a week after groups. Like you're playing a shit ton of games in groups, whatever. But
Yeah.
I don't think League, like, almost as a game, I feel like it doesn't matter that you have that much time to like figure things out in between matches. You don't need There's not actually that much draft prep I think the teams do or are good at. I think that you're just gonna play comfort or the meta. Like, you can figure out what the other team's gonna play like within a day easily if you have any good analysts or coaching staff kind of stuff. Like that shouldn't be hard. Just go and, you know, get ready and go play another match like after a day or two. We could totally condense this stuff down and expand the team or expand the format if we wanted to.
I think you and I had discussed this a few episodes back, and I was saying something like, you know, the Asian players must be miserable as well because there's no fucking Korean or Chinese food in Iceland probably,
Right.
and so they're just sitting there eating top ramen like all day every day, which, you know, to me that's the fucking life. But you know, at some point they just want to go home as well. And you know, I was actually watching some like content from 100 Thieves where it's just like Huhi doing all of the sponsorship kind of stuff that the players have to do and uphold as part of their contract. And it's actually a pretty funny video if you catch it on their Twitter. I think it's from 100 Thieves Esports. And basically he's saying that there's some people still stuck in Iceland actually, where like they just can't go, they can't leave that country
Oh
yet.
shit.
Not, and I would assume not just from 100 Thieves, but you know, from some of the other teams as well. And so I'm sure a lot of
Right.
them just, you know, want to go.
Yeah, I can see that definitely.
But yeah, I'm all talked out on the World Championship. If you're good with that.
Yeah, me too. I think we can go on.
All right, dude. And then now that we're all done with the World Championship, which, like you said, was too damn long, over a month long. Was it over a month, or you know, just about a month long?
Just about a month, yeah.
What's next? We can talk about the release of Arcane, 3 episodes from Riot's animated cartoon thingy. Um, and they'll be releasing 3 episodes every week for the next 2 weeks, every Saturday. Have you catched any episodes of Arcane on Netflix available now?
Yeah, dude. I actually watched. I think I watched. I was out like Saturday night or Saturday like afternoon evening, and so I didn't watch the premiere or any
Right.
like event like that. But like that night before I went to bed, I think I watched episode 1, and then I watched 2 and 3 on Sunday morning. I really liked it actually. I thought it was pretty cool.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool as well. You know, I'm not a lore nut or anything, and you know, I just generally know a bit about the lead characters just from playing them a lot, and they just don't shut up every time that you click.
Yeah.
But it's just kind of cool of like, oh, dude, but what's gonna happen? Or like, you know, and spoilers. Oh, if this guy drinks the vial, is he gonna be Warwick? And wait, where's Warwick from again? And then I have to Google that
Right.
shit, and then it's like, oh, he's from Zon, but they're in Pilter. Wait, no. Oh, okay, so Zon is below Piltover. Oh, okay, I get it now. And so it's kind of cool to figure that all out. And then you just kind of like get all excited anytime you see any League character. So I think in that sense, Arcane brings to me, and I watched all 3 episodes too. If I didn't mention that, Arcane brings to me like a bit of like fan service. And, you know, I can't say how good it is if I wasn't, you know, aware of the League of Legends universe. Um,
Yeah.
And I actually had seen a thread on Reddit that was saying that like, you know, people of Chinese culture, they don't really fuck with Arcane because they don't um they don't mesh well culturally with like Jinx and Vi's like independent attitude, so to speak, or like
Oh.
that kind of thing. Where like basically spoilers again, like the way that Vi is just gonna walk off without Powder, I mean, and then Powder is just like ready to give up on Vi as well. Like Chinese culture just doesn't get that of like what do you mean?
Huh.
like
That's an
like first of
interesting.
all,
Yeah,
why
that's an interesting
doesn't like
disconnect.
yeah, like first of all, why is Vi just abandoning Powder when like literally Vander just said you take care of the family, and then like Vi just kind of forgets that like 5 minutes later or something, and then same thing with
Yeah, I
Powder of
mean,
like
yeah.
yeah, same thing with Powder is like wait, why do you hate Vi? Like didn't aren't you the one who messed up? Like what do you mean? Make things right. That's kind of like, you know, like legit Chinese culture, I guess. That's just a thread that I saw on Reddit.
Chinese, yeah. I think Chinese people are whack. If that's as far as it's gonna go, I think they're kind of whack, dude. There's clearly a lot of like super deep like shit going on between those two that it's not as simple, especially like amidst the extreme trauma of that last scene. I don't think that makes any sense, but I'll give it as a cultural difference
Yeah,
still.
they're just built
It's still
different.
funny.
They're
Yeah,
both
true,
different.
true.
But yeah,
Maybe they're mental.
but yeah, I like the show, and I feel like I'm getting a lot of fan service in that sense. I'm excited to see where it's all gonna go. And yeah, I'm looking forward to the next set of 3 episodes because like I'm kind of done with the origin story, and I just wanted to kind of like skip forward in time and let me know about like, oh, okay, so what happened? Does
How do we get
Powder
there? Yeah.
become Jinx? And you get all giddly when Vi says the word Jinx like at the end of episode 3, and so
Yeah.
um yeah, that's all of the like fucking million spoilers that I have for Arcane so far. If you're
I think
listening,
you did
if
all
you're
right of not
yeah,
like really spoiling it too. But yeah, I would say about it, that I'm I also have that thought of like I thought it was really good. I think it looks pretty good. Like I don't watch like a
yeah,
shit ton of anime like generally, but I think it looked like really good just as a show. And then I also thought like because that was something I thought about too was like the what would it be if I wasn't a League fan, or like how much does it matter to me that I have played League for 11 years and I'm watching this now, right? Like, and I don't think it makes that much of a difference for the show. Like I'm thinking about it, and like the only lore that I know about Jinx and Vi was like whatever they released in season 3 when Jinx came out, and it was like there was shit going on like to Vi's like bio page, right, and like that stuff. And I was, like that's literally 8 years ago. Fuck if I remember most of that shit. But like I don't actually know that much lore about League. Like I know obviously some, but I don't think that the show needed you to know any of that, and I felt like it was
right.
probably a pretty good like intro to it anyway. Like definitely there's some stuff where I feel like there's like knowing about Caitlyn, like knowing the characters makes you like even when you see like those more minor champions or whatever in these parts, you're like, "Oh, that's cool." Like, "Oh, that's Echo," right? Like he's part of it, but you don't like it's not a main thing that you would attach to unless you know the champion from the game. But like overall, I think it's still like pretty coherent on its own without the background.
Yeah, I guess that. But my problem is I think that's what makes me like it more is I want to know like how does Echo become who he is in League from this starting
Right.
point, and same thing with Caitlyn and Jace, like where is that gonna go? And it just I guess it's just kind of cool of like, okay, what other champions off the top of my head do I know are from Piltover or Zon, and are they gonna
Right.
make an appearance here? And then like it feels like any given like evil person, like that could be Warwick, or that could be Urgot, or that could be like something. I don't really get it. And then like every other person, it looks like Silas to me. um I don't know, but yeah,
Oh,
I really
here.
enjoy it for that aspect.
And then the other thing, have you fucked with
The
the
website.
like website for it at all?
Yeah, well, a little bit. I went onto it and I played like the little Heimerdinger game where you like fix the puzzles and with the power supply or whatever.
Yeah, yeah.
So I did all 15 of those, but I haven't done anything else because I didn't know how to do it. And apparently you're supposed to like click on the map so you can go talk to Gwen or something like that. And I didn't know how to do that at that time, so I still have to do that. But how about you?
Yeah, I was just gonna say I was going around on that thing, and it's like that is very clearly like a huge ad, right? Like it's like it links out like as you talk to other characters, it links out to like make you like go to like the League of Legends or the Teamfight Tactics or the Valorant website and like download the game and play it or whatever. Um, and like it's clearly just an ad for Arcane and Riot properties, right? But they give you little rewards for doing the missions and the mini games like that, like you said. But but that game was making me really think like that, and like the Arcane just like lore part of it is making me think like, damn, I'm hyped for the League MMO, dude. It's like it's 4 years away or whatever, but like this is already kind of cool. Like I'm in.
Shit, dude. Yeah, and I saw a couple of more posts on Reddit today that like when you really think about it, like this whole thing could be like a whole franchise of intellectual property that could be the League of Legends universe, or the I guess the Riot universe,
Yeah.
which because I'm there's a million more stories that people would be interested in, and 50 characters from Ionia or Demacia that like could be their own show, I guess, and then like
Right.
that all comes together, or a different season at least. But to bring it all back together, speaking of which, there's 160 champions that Riot could have told the stories of. I'm sure a lot of people would have watched a show about Kaisa or about Ezreal probably, but I think it's a good choice to start with Jinx and Vi, have that be the sole focus of these first 9 episodes, I believe it is, and I think it's a good start to possibly the start of an entire series of Riot IP, like a
Yeah,
Marvel
I agree.
universe, but League of Legends.
It's definitely pretty wild to think about, like how you even go about that, but um especially if this is like the first one, and I think I've read about people saying like this has been in development for like 6 years, and it's like I'm sure that they have other stuff planned. They're like, man, if Arcane goes well, then yeah, then we'll do the other stories, or we'll do a movie or whatever. But it
Yeah,
can't they can't all take that long. So so
yeah,
it'll be interesting to see how they go from here for sure.
definitely. And then I guess my final thoughts on this for now is I like the pacing up of the episodes, and I like the length as well. 40 minutes is like a sweet spot for me of like a little more than just a regular TV show without commercials, but also not too long where I'm like, holy fuck, did an hour just go by? And so
Yeah,
I really like the length and the pacing of each episode as well.
agreed. I'll give you that.
Any last thoughts on the release of Arcane for you?
No, I think it was all just really cool. I feel like I'm more surprised at how much I've liked all the additional content and stuff outside of just League around it.
Yeah. Well, yeah. So these are probably going to be slow news days, so to speak. Now that the World Championship is over, we're not going to have much to talk about. So we'll probably talk about some more Arcane next week. But then I saw
Yeah,
on my
we're just gonna turn into a TV review podcast.
definitely, but I also saw on my radar and on my Twitter feed that next Monday will be like the um, dot esports Jacob Wolf free agency show, and I think that I had tuned into that last year or something like that, and I kind of liked it. It was kind of cool. It's kind of weird because it was a bunch of people that I didn't really care about. It was like I think it was like Fionn and Emily Rand at that time, and
Mm,
they just talk on about like the players who are in free agency or that are signing onto teams at that very moment at the start of free agency, and then like Jacob Wolf pops in and out of like the stuff that he has to report, and so it's
yeah,
kind of fun because he does drop some. I if I remember correctly, last year he not only did he
they're
confirm
wolf
some of the
bombs. They're wolf
yeah, wolf
bombs.
bombs, yeah, not only was he confirming some of the stuff that was out there, but then also he was coming in and coming and dropping the exclusive wolf bombs that he was just learning on that spot that were um well sourced and reputable information. And so that's coming up next Monday. I saw, and so I guess we'll get a chance to talk about that as well. And but not much else is probably happening around this time of the year, other than officially the off season has started, baby.
Hell yeah, dude. The one thing that the West is good at, having hype ass off seasons.
Yeah, and allegedly better than the regular season itself.
True.
Um, so now that it's off season, I came home today to some off season drama where it suddenly like I just opened up Twitter and bam, right there, there's some video of Twitch, a couple of Twitch clips of Doublelift going on about hating TSM and not being happy with the way Reginald has treated him and possibly other players on TSM during his time. And so there's like a couple of Twitch clips going on where one says, yeah, he hates TSM, and another one where I think he was saying something like he met up with Swordart and like Swordart really wanted to play with Doublelift the whole year, pretty much. Um, that's my summary of it. What are your thoughts on this whole thing? Just starting here, and there's more developments as we go on.
Yeah, I think I don't know. My first thoughts, it was definitely interesting. I didn't hear all of. I think I opened up Double stream like just like I was just opening a stream and heard some of him talking about it. Um, I don't know. Like it sounded like Doublelift was just like really mad. Obviously, like I don't. I'm surprised to be hearing it now. I guess is
Yeah,
what I'm mostly like thinking about.
and he's
Like
still
that
signed to
happened all last
TSM.
year. Yeah, he's still signed on TSM. Like I don't know. It just sounded like he was kind of angry and not like they were like because of that. Like I was taking things with kind of a grain of salt anyway. Um, but yeah, I don't know. It definitely the whole situation sounds like a bad look for everyone involved. um, like I don't think this is one of those things where I feel like you pick a side of like, oh yeah, it's I'm team TSM or team Doublelift, right? It's just both like, yeah, if I want to be mad at either of them, I can be mad at either of them because they both sounded like kind of shitty in this situation.
Yeah, like you're saying, like something just isn't right there, kind of with like why is this coming out now? I suppose like I get that now the entire year's over, the entire season of League of Legends LCS is over, and so this is probably the best time to do it. And kudos to Doublelift for if this is something he's been holding in, then good on you for holding it in this whole time. But
Yeah,
something is not quite right there. And then so to add on to this, I saw that president of TSM Lena was also doing some explanation in Discord servers as well, saying that pretty much Reginald and Double F are just two guys with extremely huge egos who couldn't agree over the past year about a couple of things, and probably both of them could have handled every situation along the way better one way or another, and they tried to come to terms, but nothing just hasn't worked over the past year, and then so there's that. Did you want to leave any comments on that before I move on?
nah. Go ahead,
Okay.
bring everything out.
Yeah, and then you shared with me just a post on the TSM subreddit that came out just a couple of hours ago from Reginald, sharing kind of his side of the story, which is not it's not exactly like a flame, a return flame or return shot to Double F. It's just kind of telling his side of it and like a bit about just why they didn't want to go with Double Lift for this season of 2021, and how the timing turned out with trying to get different supports lined up, which we had heard about before. We had heard about different supports, like some guy named Palette from Vietnam and some other possibly non-English speaking people who TSM had their eyes on, and trying to get a good team together in the off season last year, and just how the timings just didn't work out with Doublelift, and probably that this time around that they don't want to work with Doublelift this year either going into the off season, even though Trafford Scafford kind of had put out a video sometime in the last week that Doublelift is looking again,
Right.
and if he is looking, TSM doesn't want him, from kind of the things that Reginald was writing here. And so that's pretty much the gist of what I had gotten to it, is that like over the past year the timings and just the strong personality of Doublelift just didn't work out with what TSM was trying to look for, with regards to trying to sign players and make a team. And so that's Reginald's side of it. Maybe I'm skimming through it too fast, so I'll let you give a chance and have you tell how you're interpreting all of this so far.
Yeah, I mean, I would say definitely. I think this stuff is probably like if you're interested, go read the accounts because I think obviously everything we've heard about this is like incredibly biased to whichever side you're hearing it from, like being
Right.
typed out. Um, like it seems to me that I'm more on TSM's side of like how this played out. Like when you think about it, like I have to make a business decision and like actually sign people to a team. Um,
Yeah.
like the whole the sword art like wanting to play with double lift thing, that one's like that one's definitely surprising to me that um that TSM wouldn't like have come to that, like that wouldn't have been part of like their negotiations with Sword Art, right? Or like they wouldn't put those two in contact before Sword Art was already signed and Doublelift had already said he's done or whatever. Like I feel like you shouldn't leave those guys like to not talk to each other unless you like for some reason can't. Um, but I think that in the end, I totally see where I'd be TSM and be like, look, Doublelift already said he's kind of not motivated, doesn't want to play without Soren, wants to, just go stream and like is probably done with pro player shit. His whole retirement, like he's been saying, I'm fucking done with pro play. Like there's no fucking
Yeah,
way I
like
go
the
back,
whole
right?
time.
Like yeah, the whole time, and it's been like super strong. And then what? It's like a week after like all the off-season rumors start talking, and then Doublelift is like, "Oh yeah, I think I might try. Like, maybe if Bjergsen like lets me on a Team Liquid, like I might do it. Like, I'll give it a shot if it's the right angle." And I'm just thinking like, yeah, I feel like I don't want him if he's like just gonna quit again after this year, or if things go badly in spring, and then he's like, I'm gonna go back to streaming. Like, I don't want to deal with that shit. And he's even like he's still on stream today and like being like, guys, I've been playing a bunch of PoE, like a shit ton of PoE. Like, man, it's kind of bad. And it's like, okay, I know that it's off season still, right? World's just ended, but like maybe if you're talking about playing on a team or trying out or whatever, like maybe we should be playing so much PoE double with. So I don't know. I can see the concerns from the business side. I get feeling like you're not being like accounted for or like respected if you're Doublelift too.
Yeah.
Like he's clearly a top LCS player like of all time, right? Like it's him and Bjergsen like as 1 and 2 somehow, and it's almost unbelievable to think that a team wouldn't want you on their team. But at the same time, you have to have like some level of like humility to be like, I can get why you might not want me like outside of the obvious skill as a player. Like there's more to assigning than just like my hand's good, me get 300 CS on ADC poggers. Like there's a lot more to it than that. So
Yeah.
it's definitely some drama.
Yeah,
But
it's definitely drama. It's actually really interesting because, like you were saying, it's hard to like really say who's right or who's wrong, because I think both sides have some points here. We most recently read the Reginald post, so we're probably leaning on the TSM side for now. But and from Darvel's perspective, he brought up some good points as well. I think Lena kind of addressed it in her Discord messages as well, pretty much saying like, um, because in the end, like it's just TSM's and likely Reginald's decision as a whole is of like a strict no. Like Doublelift is you can't even split time with Lost with Sword Art or like try out or anything like that on, or like he's just
right,
not Doublelift's not allowed to play on TSM because of Reginald, and because of that he's in a sense forced to retire because there's from Doublelift's perspective there's no point in playing on a lower team, and TSM was maybe not the ideal team he would have been looking for, but looking back on it, Huni, Spica, PoE, Sword Art, Doublelift, that probably would have been a team that he would have been happy to, give it a shot for spring and see how the cohesion feels like, or at least a lock-in tournament. So, over the course of the year, we've probably been thinking like, why couldn't they split time if they're going to sign Doublelift to the organization as a streamer? And, if he's still there in LA, like what's the problem? Yeah. And it must have just been a strict no from Reginald. He's not allowed to play on our team, so to speak. And, Reginald was saying in his post that some of the coaching staff doesn't like to work with Doublelift, which is a surprise to me since they have many new coaching staff for the 2021 year. But that's besides the point. The point I'm trying to bring here is, both sides have some interesting things to bring to the table. And what I was trying to say is, Doublelift was explaining he was kind of and Doublelift and Lena were explaining that he was forced to retire this year because of this situation, and that in fact when you think about it, Jensen may or may not be in a similar situation right now where Jensen's kind of teamless, and he's been titling his stream titles kind of funny things like jobless player and stuff like that, where he might be replaced as the Team Liquid mid laner. And right now there might not be any teams that Jensen is open to playing for, or the top teams are already filled for their mid laners, and in that sense, like, Jensen just might have to not play for the first half of next year because he may or may not be signed to a team that he either wants to play for or that needs him, which is an interesting perspective of, like, I think Lena did a good job redirecting the flames going on in that sense of, like, by the way, guys, there's this other thing, haha.
Right, yeah, check out Jensen,
Yeah,
guys.
so
Yeah,
look
whoa,
at Jensen.
yeah.
But I thought it was a good point to bring up, and so
Yeah,
bam, the League of Drama has returned with the off season with that. Definitely go
true.
check all of that out. So Doublelift's clips, some of the Discord messages, and also just everything going on in the TSM subreddit. I bet they have fucking detectives everywhere on this shit.
Yeah, that and all the off-season drama that you're gonna get, roster drama in this last week. Remember, Monday the 15th. That's when free agency starts, so we still got time. Everybody's still got time to mess things up at this point.
Yeah, definitely. And then as you know, on this show, we only like to talk about the official stuff. Although rumors are fine, and we have time for rumors now.
True.
So as far as off season goes, we're ready to talk. I think I was saying the first one I want to talk about is that it looks like EG is pretty ready to sign Inspire. I believe he's the top laner for Rogue, or is it
Jungler, buddy. Come
jungler?
on.
Jungler, yeah, jungler. And so that I saw a report on that looks like that's more or less ready to go. Was there any other, like, off-season roster moves that came out during the week?
Um, I don't think there's any that are super confirmed. I think I saw another one today about Fnatic maybe letting Niski go. Um, but there's a whole bunch going on still that I don't know that I've got any big ones that they've like guaranteed.
Yeah,
Yeah, I don't know. The inspired thing is pretty interesting. I think that's especially interesting for like it's crazy because it looks like Rogue is like completely blowing up. And then it's also crazy for the LCS because that means that both Contracts and Svenskeren are going to be teamless. Who both like made very good cases for themselves as LCS caliber junglers last season. So I'll be interested to see what that means if that's going to be a big breakdown or trickle down effect like through to other teams. But yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
I blanked out just now. What did you say?
I was talking about if EG is getting inspired, then that means Contracts and Svenskeren are both off the team, and that means two more like clearly LCS caliber junglers are in need of a new home.
Yeah, you're right. And I think I actually had heard that in a Travis Gafford video as well. And when I had heard that both of those junglers who were actually splitting time in the LCS summer playoffs, which was kind of weird at that time. It did seem
Right.
like
Like
yeah,
both are good enough. I
they
think.
had two competent junglers, and people still speak highly of Svenskeren, possibly being like top 4 jungler in the LCS. Um, and yeah, Travis Gaspard was saying that they're both leaving the organization, and when I had heard that, that kind of surprised me. And then, with this inspired news coming out, that more or less kind of confirms that as well. So I thought that was really interesting. Um, another roster move that I don't remember if we talked about last week was some of the rumors going on with Team Liquid. Would you want to talk about that? Although, like, most of that is still rumors.
Yeah, sure. I mean, I think the big one, right, is that looks like the most likely landing spot for Bjergsen since he's been out of TSM. And then I think alongside that, the rumors that I've heard are Whippo joining and taking the top lane from Alfari since he's looking to go back to EU.
Yeah,
And then also Hans Sama maybe joining as the ADC from Rogue,
yeah,
contingent on Core JJ getting a green card because he wouldn't be a resident and they'd have 3 imports if they didn't have core as a resident.
Yeah, so that's really interesting that, it sounds like Core JJ still wants to play in the LCS, and that Team Liquid is taking the steps to further that process as well, which can take, extended periods of time due to COVID situations, and that everything is just delayed when it comes to that kind of stuff, passport stuff, and just all of that naturalization process. So yeah, that I think you're pretty solid on all of those points. Bjergsen, it sounds like he's going to be going to Team Liquid as opposed to some other rumors like EG or C9. And I do believe from everything that I had seen that it looks like they'll be keeping Santorin as well for their jungle.
Right.
Yeah, so exciting times there. And then I think I'm really interested to see what's going to happen to C9. You were saying that Niski was probably going to leave Fnatic, and then who knows? He could end up back on C9 as well. We'll see.
Yeah.
Which is
Yeah, I feel like if I was Niski, and I don't know if I would feel like more what's the word, like vindication that I like rejoined C9 like after Perks took my spot, or if I would feel more pissed that like Fnatic was trying to replace me with Perks just like C9 tried to replace me with Perks, like, and that's why I'm leaving team. Like I don't know which one is more fun as Niski, to be proving that you are better than him, or just like having to go back to this team that slighted you because they wanted to waste $8 million getting Perks.
Yeah, that's true. That I wonder how he's dealing with that, and hopefully, if he just doesn't care about that, and he just wants to utilize his best opportunities to play for decent organizations and good teams overall, then hopefully that he can get past that and just play for any team in either LEC or LCS that he thinks is worthwhile playing for, and has a shot at the local championship. And so I hope that doesn't bother him, but those are the facts that, yeah, Perks seemed to get his number one way or another. And then like he has been bouncing back and forth between NA and Europe throughout his whole career. Usually spending some time in Europe for like a year, coming to the LCS, playing here for a year, going back there, coming here. Then he just spent a year on Fnatic over there, and then it's possible he could be coming back here. It's all like, it's such like big career moves he's had to make over and over again with regards to like just actually making the move, and hopefully he can come back into this country now as well, and vice versa. I hope all of the European players that want to go back, I hope that they can go back. I'm not sure what the travel restrictions are like in that sense. Um, but yeah,
I hope. I feel like at this point, people are things are opening enough that like you should be able to that should all be able to be sorted before January rolls around and we have LCS actually happening again.
I hope
Hopefully,
so, dude.
fingers crossed.
But then next thing you know, Brox is not here until week 10. I know that was a bad example, but that's how these things happen. Is like
Yeah.
they want the player, and the player wants to come here, but this thing happens or that thing happens, and so on and so forth. But yeah, I'm excited for the off-season stuff to come out. I guess in a weird way, there's not a lot of rumors. Where like I feel like there's 7 LCS teams that like we have no idea what's going on there, and like you were saying, like the fucking free agency is next Monday. And so, like, some good shit better come out in the next 4 days. Otherwise, like, this is it. I'm kind of bored. And, we might just have to pull up the fucking global contract database and record another episode on Sunday just because, like, there's nothing else coming out, which we're not going to do. But I'm just saying that stuff is out there.
Yeah, I agree. It seems like there must be, like, it seems like the last couple off seasons, right? There's always been, like, the one thing that needs to happen. This guy needs to be signed for it to be sure before other teams can make their decisions. And it feels like there must be a lot of those still in play. Like, like Perks and Alfari haven't really made the deals, or Reckless doesn't know where he's going or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
or Core JJ doesn't know if he's actually going to get a green card. Like, and if that doesn't happen, then Team Liquid falls apart. And then if Bjergsen doesn't know that he's going to Team Liquid, then nobody in NA knows what they're doing. Like, all that stuff must be still in flux.
Yeah, and I guess I'm also just like, I said 7 teams we don't know about, and also probably like 4 or 5 of those teams I don't care about them. Like I don't care what happens, what's gonna happen to the FlyQuest roster. Like to
Yeah,
be
those
honest,
those guys
all
aren't
5 of
on the
those
hunt,
players,
dude.
sorry, I don't care about you. And also like nothing seems to be happening early, other than the like the inspired thing we were talking about, and possibly the Bjergsen moves we were talking about. But there's nothing exciting
Yeah,
like you know we're not getting Viper or anything like that, or we're not getting
at least
Rookie or
not
the
yet.
Shy or like
At
there's
least not yet.
true, yeah, but like there's no big news like oh people are in talks with Bang or something like that. I remember like I was super hyped about that when that had happened that one year. Um,
Yeah, crazy how I can think back to that and feel like, damn, what a wasted opportunity now, right?
yeah, unfortunately, I mean, yeah, yeah,
Yeah,
they tried. EG tried,
they tried.
but
100 Thieves tried, dude. Come on.
wait, really? Was it 100 Thieves that had Bang?
Yeah.
Dude, I'm
They shelled
tripping.
out for Bang, dude.
Dude, I'm tripping.
It's all right.
Yeah,
Like you
sorry.
said,
Yeah, I had to
we've got a
take.
few days. We've got a few days
Yeah,
to get it all sorted out.
I had to process that for a second. But yeah. But anyways, speaking of 100 Thieves, like everything's looking good. I hope that they keep their roster, and they're the reigning champions, and it's up to these other teams that have to make adjustments, and then also hope that their adjustments help return them to the championship as well. So it's kind of interesting. I hope we're gonna have another 4 or 5 teams that are viable, and then everyone else is just gonna be developmental rosters, I guess. Um, with
Yeah,
people.
dude, holy crap. If 100 Thieves actually brings their whole roster back, that might be the first time, like, I know, plus the tenacity split time or whatever that they've talked about, but, like, if that's actually, like, everybody from within the organization still, like, I feel like that hasn't happened where an LCS champion has just run it back year between year with the real roster.
Yeah, I guess it's been a while, and it's also still up in the air. Like a lot of the people who didn't play this year, like technically Doublelift, like people like
Sneaky.
Sneaky, Biofrost, a lot of people who are saying they're looking to play again. Verdict's still out. Like, what the fuck is like Smithy doing? No one knows.
True. The mystery
I've given
man
up on
in
him,
the
unfortunately,
LCS.
because yeah, like I heard he's doing coaching, but like I don't know what he's doing, dude. I think he's still
You
in
say
LA
that
though.
now until he joins CLG again, and you're like, holy shit, CLG is the best team in the LCS.
Yeah, but like yeah, like I don't really know what's happening, and if so, like the marketing is bad, I guess. I'm just kidding, but um, I'm excited. But then I'm excited because of what has happened in previous years. But right now, I don't feel that excited, and I guess we'll just see come Monday the 15th.
Yeah,
Yeah, we probably went on this
it'll.
segment too long, but any last thoughts for off-season roster moves and everything going on?
Nah, dude, we'll save it all for next episode.
Hell yeah. Whew. I feel like I just talked like at a million miles per hour for like the last 2 minutes.
It's all right. You gotta get some of those out every once in a while, you know. That's been pent up inside of you. Otherwise, who knows what would have happened if it didn't come out now.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Any other things you want to talk about for this week?
Nah, I think I'm good. Good.
I think I'm good too. Do you know is Vex the last champion for the year? Or is there going to be one more?
Uh, I think for the year probably maybe maybe there's actually like somebody that'll get announced with Arcane or something, but I haven't heard.
Oh, actually, I think I had read something as well that there's a character in Arcane that will become a league champion, and like we're looking at them, we just don't know it yet.
Yeah, I think people were talking about that being Silco maybe, but I don't know.
Really? Okay. I have my own theories about Silco. Maybe I'll just save that for another time, or we can just talk about it after this episode.
Yeah, we'll see, maybe we'll see if it happens in Act 2, and then we'll be able to talk about it next week.
For sure, for sure. All right, and that's going to be it for episode 35 of On the Hunt, a League of Legends podcast. Kind of excited to say that, like 35 episodes throughout the whole year in the season, just a couple of weeks off for MSI and Worlds, but otherwise we got through all of the LCS weeks and playoffs and stuff, and some of the World Championship, and I'm pretty happy about that.
Yeah, glad we've gotten I'm glad we've gotten this far too. Thanks to everybody that has listened to us ramble for 35 fucking episodes. It's crazy.
For sure. And if you are tuning in, be sure to rate us or give us a like on the podcast player that you're listening to us on if you haven't already. That kind of support would really, really help, even though I don't look at it at all. I haven't even logged into the Twitter in like 6 months probably.
We don't actually know if anybody listens to it. It's fine though. We
Yeah,
respect all of you.
I really don't. Um, and then we're available on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube, and a couple more podcast players as well. I feel like I'm remembering less and less of this outro every time that we do it. But that's going to be it for our episode. We'll see you guys next time.
See ya.